Hey everyone, thanks for watching today. So today's video is just about a story that was relayed to me last Friday, and I've kind of been thinking about it for the past several days, and finally something said, let me go ahead and share this story with everyone. And it is a story of hope and and miracles and whatever you want to call it. So last Friday I was in a limo, and I was in the limo headed towards the airport, and there was another woman in the limo with me, and I noticed that she appeared very weak and very tired, and so I really didn't want to disturb her, but we did start talking, and she was kind of asking me questions about where I was from, and kind of wanted to know what my story was, etc., you know. So we started talking and whatnot, and eventually I just asked her, I said, are you going through breast cancer? And she said, no, she's stage four ovarian cancer. And basically her story goes like this. She's from Texas. She was being treated at one of the major hospital facilities there in Texas. And when her cancer was discovered, it was already stage 4, it already had spread. And so the first response she received was, wow. I mean, they were just in shock and said, this doesn't look good. But they did provide surgery, the facility she was at, the hospital. And they did some chemo, and eventually they told her, you're terminal, and we would advise you to check into hospice. You need hospice care, and you also need to plan your funeral. And so, of course, her and her whole family are devastated. She has 3 daughters. She has a granddaughter. I suspect she's probably in her mid to late 40s. And she also has a husband. And so she didn't check into hospice, but she did go to a funeral home, and she did go to a national cemetery because her husband is retired military. And so they were making all those plans. And she said one day she was laying in bed, and a commercial for the CTCA. Many of you have heard me talk about the CTCA, which is the Cancer Treatment Centers of America. One of their commercials came on TV, and she just decided to call, and they flew her out 2 days later to Arizona. That was back in August. She's been treating ever since. And she told me that, there's been several different times when she's had to change her chemo regimen because it either made her, either she was too allergic to it or it wasn't working. But the treatment she was on now, she really liked it, was getting some really good results. And just hearing her talk, and she was very stoic when she was speaking. And the reason why she was tired when I met her is because she had just treated that same day and was flying home that day. She came in the night before, got her infusion treatment, and was flying out. And I said, well, why are you leaving so early? And she said, because when the side effects kick in, she'd rather deal with them at home in her own bed, surrounded by her family. So that's just a miracle story I want to share with you guys. It took everything in me not to just burst out in tears listening to this woman speak, being told her life was basically over, and having God basically direct her, letting her see that commercial, and giving her enough strength and wisdom to make the phone call. And folks, she's still here. So, sometimes in life, those little nuggets of hope spring up all over the place to kind of nudge us and let us know you're going in the right direction. And so it was just awesome to hear her testimony and how her life is turned around, and she's just so hopeful now, and she just feels blessed and believes it's a miracle. So I want to share that with you. I also want to share with you that I'm going to reiterate what you've probably already heard, and probably you're tired of hearing it, but there is somebody, I guarantee, watching today that does not know this. If you are 40 years old and you're watching, and if you're 40 or over you should already have your mammogram or have it already in the pipeline, scheduled and ready to go. There should be no one who can hear my voice that hasn't had one over the age of 40. If you are 30 years old and you've had an immediate family member with breast cancer, mother, father, brothers, sisters, so siblings, that's immediate family member, you can get a mammogram. So there should be no one who is hearing my voice over the age of 30 with a family history that hasn't already had their mammogram or doesn't have it already scheduled. If you are 35 years old, no history of breast cancer in your family, there are a lot of insurance that will pay for a baseline. All you need to do is call. If you don't want to call, have your doctor call, but insist that they make that call, folks. Look, I don't know what causes breast cancer, and I don't know what we can do to prevent it from happening, but here's the thing. If it's going to happen to you, let's make sure it happens early. Not when we're stage 4, just now finding out about it, and it requires more work to contain it. Plenty of people are living with stage 4, so we have technology these days that can save some lives. Ultimately, God saves, but there's enough technology today out in the world that people are living with the disease. But if we can catch it really, really early, I mean, your whole outlook is totally different. Your whole quality of life can be completely changed and impacted. So I want to just reiterate that. I know I sound like a broken record. You probably heard it a million times, but there is someone watching who hasn't heard it, and this message is for them. Also, I found out if you are a person of color, at the age of 45, you can have a colonoscopy. It was always 50 years old was the recommended age. Unfortunately, too many people in America are actually dying of colon cancer, particularly people of color. So 45 years is now the age. So if you're 45, around 45, prepare yourself. And if you're between 45 and 50 and you're a person of color, what are you waiting for? The time is now. So let's make it happen. Let's call doctors and be an advocate for your own health. It doesn't matter what anyone else says or thinks. If you have a doctor and they tell you no, find a new doctor. There's doctors everywhere. There's no shortage of doctors. I don't care what anyone says. Just make it happen. If you go for a colonoscopy, ask for a PS test. That's right. It's a new blood test they have that can also detect colon cancer. So you could be told after your colonoscopy, oh, we didn't feel anything, everything feels good, and still have colon cancer, folks. So PS test, ask for it, demand it, get it. It may save your life. So that's just my service announcement for the day. Just wanted to get that good word out there. Miracles are happening, people are living, and I just want to encourage you. I'm encouraged. Today's a great day. I feel awesome. I hope you do too. Until next time, bye-bye.